impression management. This is basically when you manage your own personality to try to give off a better impression of yourself. But is this a good thing or a bad thing? And why do people feel the need to do this in the first place? I mean, isn't their true natural selves the best version of themselves? Is there a right way to use impression management? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video, so let's get started. So like I mentioned, impression management is when you deliberately try to manage your own personality to give off a better impression when interacting with other people. So it's a purposeful choice about how you're trying to come off to others. So for example, if you're on a job interview, you might try to come across as more focused, conscientious, energetic, likable. If you're on a first date, you might try to come across as way more interesting and outgoing than you might be in real life. Maybe you enter a room and you happen to notice that everyone is really kind of sad and forlorn for some reason, so you decide that it's best to kind of match the mood in the room, so to speak. Why do people do this? Well, they do it because of societal expectations. People are not expected to act or display emotions in exactly the same way in every type of situation. There are situations where it is expected that we are going to be on our best behavior, or we're going to act in a certain way, or there are going to be certain emotions that are more appropriate to express over others. And as naturally social creatures, we want other people to like us. I know, right? Shocker. And by managing our personality in different situations, we are increasing the likelihood that we're going to come off in a favorable way, and therefore that other people are going to like us and accept us. Another reason why people do this is because they know that their natural personality is just not going to get them where they want to be. Take myself. I'm a huge introvert, and I know from experience that if I just act in my very natural introverted self, I'm not really going to get anywhere in my career, because in a lot of jobs, you have to be really out there. You have to be outgoing. You have to be, come over there we are. Go away, okay? Go to your papa. In pretty much any career situation, you have to put yourself out there. You have to be assertive. You have to be well-spoken. You have to be just maybe a little bit outgoing. You have to be bubbly, energetic. People tend to like that sort of thing. So if I was just my natural introverted, reserved, quiet self, well, that probably wouldn't get me anywhere, especially here on YouTube, where it's just expected that anyone's going to be just kind of bubbly and exciting and outgoing, right? So people do this because they know that in certain social situations, they kind of have to in order to meet the demands of that particular situation. But of course, there's going to be other situations, like if you're with close friends and family or people who know you really well, where you can just relax and be yourself, and you really don't have to manage any part of your personality. Who you are naturally is just totally fine. Now, I get this particular question all the time. Is impression management the same thing as being fake? Okay. No, not quite. So being fake, just in my impression, is when people take impression management to the next level. So a healthy level of impression management is important for each and every one of us in our day-to-day lives, being able to get ahead in life and portray ourselves in ways that are societally acceptable. Being fake is more like when you just don't even like your own personality and you try to put on this total facade and you're not even really being yourself and you're trying too hard and all of these negative things. So I don't really think that they're the same thing. And I will also say that impression management is not the same as being manipulative. There is no deception or exploitation or trying to take advantage of someone involved in impression management. You are managing your personality because you want to be better liked by others, not because you're desperate to be liked by others, but because you're a social creature. You're a human being. When someone is manipulative, they will take advantage of people. They will hurt people's feelings. They will lie if they have to get what they want. They don't really care. It's not about being liked by other people. It's about getting your way. So manipulation, the methods involved and the intent are just very different compared to just regular old everyday impression management. If you're just using impression management, you're actually trying to come across better to other people so that you can improve your social situations. So is impression management a bad thing? Not really. As long as you're using it properly, then it's not a bad thing at all. It can actually really help you in life. It shows that you understand what is appropriate in a specific situation. Like, for example, if you're the person at the funeral who just keeps on giggling and smiling, that's probably not going to help you. If you're the person on the first date who just has no manners, is super rude, who is yourself, but maybe a little too much, like maybe you're sharing things that just isn't really appropriate for a first date, I don't know, you might not get a second date. So using impression management effectively is a great thing because it shows that you just understand what qualities and behaviors are expected in various situations that you're going to encounter in everyday life. It's kind of like having really good social instincts. And it shows that you care about how you come across to other people, which is not a bad thing. You should, to some extent, care how you come across to other people. Impression management is also just expected in a lot of different types of situations, including, like we've talked about, job interviews, first dates, any time where you're around a lot of strangers, maybe meeting people for the first time at an event, any situation where you have to be very polite because you're meeting someone important. There are times where if you cannot use impression management properly, you're sinking your own ship. People who can use impression management successfully tend to go further in life. I mean, you think of all the people who are probably using impression management quite a lot. There are people like politicians, performers, actors, salespeople, anybody who is lucky enough to land their dream job. These people are really amazing at using impression management in the right situations. They're good at being likable and coming across in a way that they want to other people. Not being fake. They're still being themselves. They're just sort of emphasizing different parts of their personality and maybe kind of downplaying those parts that they know aren't really acceptable in a specific situation. So people who know how to use impression management understand a couple of really key things. They have a really amazing self-awareness, so they understand themselves. They know their behaviors, they know their personality, they understand how they tend to come across to other people. They don't have an unrealistic sense of who they are and what they're like. They understand very well what they're like and maybe what parts of their personality they need to upplay or downplay in any given situation. They're also really good at reading the room, so they know maybe when the feeling in a room has suddenly shifted, maybe things have suddenly gotten very awkward or very tense. If they're in a situation that they've never been in before, they're going to be very good at reading people and figuring out what the proper behaviors are and what behaviors to avoid. So they're very perceptive people. And they are not trying to be perfect. They are still being themselves, but they are upplaying parts of their personality that are more appropriate for the situation and downplaying maybe behaviors or tendencies that just aren't very likable or that have no place in that type of situation. So from this personality psychologist, impression management does get 2 thumbs up. Just learn how to use it properly, and it will take you very far in life. There is a link in the description box down below. I wrote a blog post on this topic a while back, so check that out if you want to learn more about impression management. Also give this video a thumbs up if you like impression management, if you like psychology, and all of that fun stuff. And subscribe if you enjoy personality and psychology related content. I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.